So firstly, talking about interviews, I would like to know as to why exactly an interview is conducted for selecting any candidate.
See, one of the most important reasons why interviews are conducted is it's very important to know as to how a candidate is going to be in terms of his competencies. For example, his skills. When we're talking about skills, there are many skills. But to give an example, it could be a communication skill, interpersonal skill. What's their problem solving ability, the decision making ability. Along with that, when we talk about attitude, what sort of a behavior do they have? Can they handle stress?
Yes.
And not only this, when I say competencies, when knowledge forms a part of competency. Knowledge, not just the general knowledge that we're talking about, it's also something to do with their own technical subject. So to evaluate all these things which we actually form it as competencies, we actually conduct interviews. So without conducting interviews, you just cannot make out as to who a candidate can be and what a candidate can be.
So candidates, before attending any interview, they would like to prepare as to how to go about interview, how to get through that interview. So can you please suggest as to how candidate can prepare for their interviews?
Okay, if I understood your question rightly, I think we are looking at pre-interview
yes, exactly.
Preparation.
Exactly.
The first and foremost thing that any candidate has to do is that has to ensure that his resume is actually updated, because it all depends on the kind of position that you're applied or you're applying for.
Yes.
Based on the position that you applied for, it's very important that you keep your resume updated. If I've understood your question rightly, I think you're looking at pre-interview preparation.
Yes.
The first and foremost thing that any candidate should be doing is that he or she should be updating the resume. It's very, very important.
Yes.
It all depends on the kind of position that you're applying for or the company that you're applying for.
Okay.
Based on that, you should be actually preparing your resume. Like for example, your career objective. You should ensure that your career objective meets the position that you're applying for. It should not be different from the position you're applying for. Along with the resume, you should also ensure that you keep your certificate, the copies of your certificates ready. Any certificates related to your achievements, extracurricular activities, sports, whatever you have to support your candidature.
Yes.
Always have at least 2 to 3 sets of these things ready with you, and keep them properly in such a place where you'll be in a position to pick up whenever you require. For example, you can just have an executive bag. And stack them in such a way that when you go to the interview, in case an interviewer asks you, can I have one more copy of your resume? You should not be searching for your resume. For that matter, we should not even be saying that I'm not carrying my resume, I can send it later. It would be good if you can just remove your resume and give it to them then and there.
Okay.
Along with these things, if you can also have a soft copy in the form of a floppy or a pen drive. Who knows, we don't know. The interviewer could ask you, can I have a soft copy?
Yes.
If you are ready with whatever he is asking for, it indicates as to how prepared you were before you actually came to the interview.
Okay.
Not only this, there are simple things like you also have 3 to 4 passport size photographs also kept in your executive file. In case they ask you, you can also be ready in a situation that you can give the passport copy. And simple things like a pen, pad, a notepad.
Yes.
If there is a reason that you need to note down something, you need not ask the interviewer, you need to have a pen or a paper. You can actually make a note in your own book.
Whatever things.
So these are some of the most important things that you should be aware of before you actually go to an interview. You should not go to an interview in such a situation that once you go there and the interviewer asks you for some documents, you say that you don't have it or you send it the next day, because that actually indicates how prepared you were. Not only this, there's something else apart from these things. Sometimes what happens is that when you are supposed to attend an interview, you could have to go to some other place to attend an interview, like away from the place that you are used to. Like for example, being in Hyderabad, I may have to go to Pune for an interview. But I'm not aware of the place Pune. So if you can conduct a drive in Pune one day before the interview as to where exactly is the organization that you're supposed to go there for the interview, and you know as to what are the transportation available, how to go there. These things will actually take care of your time, because you get late to the interview, your candidature is lost.
Okay.
So at least 10 to 15 minutes before the scheduled interview, if you can reach that place, you are ready for the interview. Last minute dash is never recommended, because as it is, the moment interview word is that you get highly stressed out. On top of that, if you get late for the interview, you are highly stressed, and there are chances that you will not be able to perform better in it. So these are some of the most important things that we need to keep in mind as a pre-preparation techniques, or before going to the interview, it's better you follow all these things.
Okay, sir. So coming to the point